find permutation of distinguishable objects. So later, you'll understand what distinguishable object is. Now, for the pretest, let us try to answer the following if you have an idea about our lesson. Directions: identify what is being asked in each question. Write only the letter of the correct answer. So we have to find the number of permutation of the letters of the word mommy. So what will be the answer here? Is it A, 8, B, 12, C, 20, or D, 24? What do you think is the answer? Hello? Narinig niyo pa ba ako?
Opo.
Opo. So, ano yung answer dyan sa tingin ninyo? Okay lang naman kahit mali or tama. Tatama naman natin yun. Later, itatama natin yung mga mali yung sagot. Anyone? So I think most of you don't have an idea about distinguishable permutation, what distinguishable permutation is. So for number one, the answer here is letter C. Letter C because as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. Most of you will tell me that it is equal to permutation of 5 taken 5 at a time, or simply 5 factorial, and that's 120. Now, the answer is 20 only because there are elements that is the same. There are 3 letter M's. So the answer here is 20. Later on, I'll give you more examples to understand about how to solve this kind of situations or problems. Number 2, a stockbroker wants to assign 12 clients equally to 4 of its sales agents. And how many different ways can this be done? So I think no one will answer. So let us just reveal the answer here. The answer here is letter A. Next, number 3, Bobby applied for the landline phone in his new house. He was given the number 7630-8380. How many distinguishable permutations are there in his telephone number? So as you can see in his number, there are 2 digits, which is 3, 2 digits, which is 8, and 2 digits, which is 0. So, meron tayong mga same elements. So, we cannot distinguish alin dyan yung 3 na isa, alin pa yung isang 3. So, if we use the formula for distinguishable permutation, we'll get letter B as the answer. For number 4, how many ways can you arrange books of the same kind if there are 4 math books, 3 science books, and 2 English books in a shelf? So, according to the situation, we have to arrange the books, but remember that there are same elements, like for example, the math books, the science books, and the English books. So, lang po yung item na meron tayo, or object. We have 9 objects to arrange, and then we have the answer here, letter A. Mamaya mas maintindihan nyo bakit kaya yan yung mga sagot. Number 5, this problem, we will not answer this problem kasi remember na when we say distinguishable permutation, they'll give you a overview na Kapag distinguishable permutation, tinitignan lang natin ay yung magkakapareho na object, magkakamukha. Ibig sabihin, like for example, yung books, ay ano, not the books. Bigay tayo ng iba pang example. Like for example, yung balls, footballs, yung mga bola na yon, they are the same. Magkakamukha sila. You cannot distinguish between the two balls dahil pareho lang naman sila ng klase ng bola. While here in peso bill, remember sa peso bill, magkakamukha sila in a way na yung itsura, pare-pareho. Pero remember that in the peso bill, we have serial numbers or tama, serial numbers yung tawag doon. And pwede mong gamitin yon as their identity. Pagkakakilanlan nung bill na to than the other bill. So, hindi na natin sasagutan yung 5. So, let us have a recap. So, we are going to solve this problem or situation for number 1. 5 frontliners were on a break. They were hungry and wanted to buy something to eat. How many ways can they arrange themselves in a row to buy their food? Ito, alam niyo na to kasi this is just a review of what we
120.
had last week. Yes?
120.
120. Well, the answer here is 120. Why 120? Because there are 5 frontliners and you have to get the permutation of 5 taken 5 at a time because you are going to arrange them in a line, all of them, kaya taken 5 at a time. And that is also equal to 5 factorial. And 5 factorial is 120. How about the number 2? In how many ways can a president, a treasurer, and a secretary be chosen from 7 candidates? Sabihin niyo muna sa akin yung permutation notation before we proceed to the answer. What is the permutation notation here? Yung nasa taas, that's permutation of 5 taken 5 at a time. How about in number 2? Labas ka. How about the number 2? It is permutation of, ilan ba yung candidates natin? Ilan yung pagpipilian? Sabi niya, 7. Yes. So, our N is 7. Ilan lang yung pipiliin?
3.
3. So, our R is 3. Therefore, it is a permutation of 7 taken 3 at a time. There are 7 candidates, but you have to choose 3 of them only for the position of president, treasurer, and secretary. So therefore, that's permutation of 7 taken 3 at a time,
210.
which is, yes, ano?
210.
210. Okay? So, most of the time, dapat ang mas una nyo munang i-identify is yung permutation notation, or not most of the time, pero mas mabuting ibigay nyo muna yung permutation notation for you to understand more of the problem muna before you give the answer. Kasi yung answer, madali na lang yan, di ba? Kasi sa module, may answer naman. So if you can explain how did it happen or what happened, why did the author said that the answer is 120, therefore you really understand the problem. Now let's proceed to our lesson. So I have here a given situation. We have to identify the number of possible three-letter arrangements in the word mom. So if you are going to arrange the letters in the word mom, so how many is the possible arrangement?
6 po.
6. Why is it 6? For those who don't understand about how did she find out that it's 6, ang ginawa niya po is permutation of 3
Of
taken 3
3.
at a time. Diba? So, most of my students also answered 6 as their answer. Kasi ang ginawa nila, permutation of 3 taken 3 at a time, or simply 3 factorial. So if we use permutation formula, we'll get 3 factorial, which is equal to 6. And then if we do the tree diagram, you'll see clearly what are the possible results. So if you arrange it, you start with M, then followed by O, and M, you'll have MOM, and then same process. Doing the same process, you'll get 6 arrangements. But by looking at these arrangements, you'll see that the 6 arrangements have something, or the arrangements have common arrangements, or the given results have common arrangements. As you look at the given here, those that are encircled with yellow, they are the same. Encircled with gray, same din sila. And those that are encircled with green, they are also the same. So what did you notice about the arrangement? There are arrangements that has the same, or that is the same. So dahil meron tayong dalawang mom, dalawang OMM, and dalawang MMO, dahil parehas naman sila, we can simply consider them as one. Okay? So kasi hindi naman natin kailangan na dalawa yung MOM kung pareho lang naman sila. Diba? So we eliminate those that are the same. So if you answer this kind of situation, ang sagot lang talaga natin is not 6, but instead we only have 3 arrangements. And how can we solve that using the formula? Using a formula. Remember that if we solve this problem, we get, or we use 3 factorial because there are 3 letters to arrange. That's correct. And if we use substitute that to n, it gives you 3 factorial. While remember that there are 2 m's in the word mom. And if that is the case, dahil may parehong element, it tends to give you arrangements that are the same. Because we cannot distinguish ano ba yung naunang M, ano ba yung pangalawang M pag nag-arrange na tayo. Kaya nagiging magkakamukha yung ating mga arrangements. Okay? So for us to solve this, all we have to do is to put the number of letters in the numerator. That's 3. That's 3 factorial. And then we divide it to the number of the letter that is the same, or how many letters are the same. Like for example, dito isa lang naman yung letter na pareho, pero dalawa sila. I mean, isang letter which is M, and ilan yung M natin dito? We have 2. So that's divided by 2 factorial. So ulitin ko, yung nasa numerator, it is the number of letters. Yung nasa baba, we divide it to the number of the same object. And this is 6, this is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we get 3 as the answer. which is also our answer earlier. Ang ginawa lang natin, we make use of the formula. So what will be the formula? So the formula for permutation with repetition, or also known as distinguishable permutation, is permutation is equal to n factorial divided by a factorial, b factorial, c factorial, and so forth. For n, remember the n here, what does it mean? N is the number of objects. Okay? The number of things or objects. While in here are things that are alike, B, same lang, things that are alike, C are things that are alike. Pero you always look at the situation. Pwede kasing isa lang yung merong tulad ng sa letter na or sa word na repetition. Kunwari, let's give this word as an example. Dalawa yung E. So, we have 2 factorial. Dalawa yung I, 2 factorial ulit. Dalawa yung T, 2 factorial ulit. And then the rest, isa na lang. Okay? So, ganun yun. Ilang letters ba ito lahat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, our n here is 10 factorial. Then we have divided by 2 factorial times 2 factorial times 2 factorial and so forth. Okay? So, let me give you an example for you to understand it more. We have here, for example, number 1, we have the word basketball. So for the word basketball, as you count the letters, there are 10 letters. And bilangin natin kung ilang beses na ulit yung mga letters. So yung B, naulit siya ng 2 beses. Yung letter A, naulit siya ng 2. Yung letter L, 2. Then the rest, puro isa na lang. So if we use a formula, we'll have permutation is equal to 10 factorial divided by 2 factorial times 2 factorial times 2 factorial. Remember that the operation here is multiplication. We do it like this, but pwede rin naman natin gawin, or ang tamang paraan ng paggawa nito or pag-solve nito is that dapat yung nasa denominator mo, pag inad mo sila, yung mga numbers mo, dapat 10 ang kalalabasan. Kaya lang, remember na ang nauulit dito yung 2, yung B, yung A, yung L. Then the rest, isa na lang sila. The right way of solving this is that you have to write 10 factorial sa numerator. Then sa denominator, you have to write 2 factorial times 2 factorial times 2 factorial times ilang beses na ulit yung S, 1 factorial, times ilang beses na ulit yung K, 1 factorial, times ilang beses na ulit yung E, 1 factorial, and ilang beses na ulit yung T, which is 1 factorial. And their sum is 10. Okay, kaya lang remember that 1 factorial is also equal to 1. That's why we did not include that to our solution. But that is the right way of solving this. Okay? May mga kasunod pa yan dapat na 1 factorial. Mga 4 na 1 factorial. Yung 4 na yon plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that is 10. Okay? Yun lang yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, yung tamang pagsosolve nito. Pero you can do this naman as if you want. Now, if you solve for this using your calculator, scientific calculator, you'll have 453,600. So in solving this kind of problems, it is better for you to have scientific calculator, even sa phone nyo, or kaya naman sa, diba, meron mo kayong tablet. So sa tablet kayo magsagot nito, ng worksheet nyo at ng quiz nyo, sa phone kayo mag-calculator. Pwede yun. Okay? Now, let us have another example. I have here 6 face masks and 4 face shields to give to 10 frontliners. In how many ways can I distribute the 10 gifts to the 10 frontliners? Remember that the face masks are all the same in appearance, same as the face shields. So, it is distinguishable permutation because there are objects that are the same. So how many items do we have all in all?
N.
10. So we have n as 10 is equal to 10. Then the face shields, face mask 6, and your face shield 4. If we use the formula, we'll have permutation is equal to 10 factorial divided by 6 factorial times 4 factorial. So mapapansin nyo, their sum is 10. Okay? Now, if you use your calculator and solve for it, pwede na magmano-mano kung gusto nyo. We'll have 210 ways. Kung nagsagot kayo sa worksheet, you don't have to use ways ha. Kahit yung answer na lang. Answer lang kailangan ko dun. Don't write the word ways. Then, for number 3, wait lang. The frontliner at the Pasig City General Hospital has 4 blue PPEs, 3 white PPEs, and 2 green PPEs. In how many ways can he arrange all of his PPEs in his locker? So as you can see here, we have PPEs, and those PPEs are the same in color and the same in appearance. Color lang ang pinagkaiba, right? So if you solve this problem, syempre bilangin natin muna ilan ba yung PPEs. Lahat-lahat is 9. Apat yung blue, tatlo yung white, and dalawa yung green. Then, how can she arrange it in different ways? Or how many ways can he do that? So if you solve that, we have 9 factorial divided by 4 factorial times 3 factorial times 2 factorial, which is equal to 1,260 ways. Okay. So we are done with module number 4. So what you need to remember is that whenever you encounter problems that has the same objects, when I say same objects, pare-parehong PPEs, kaya naman parehong face shield on face mask, pare-parehong books, pero magkakaiba lang ng kulay, ng klase. It tends to give you repeated permutations or arrangements. Kaya ang ginagawa natin, we use the formula for distinguishable permutation kasi may magkakaparehong items or objects or elements. So you need to remember that when there are things that are alike in the given situation, you have to use this formula, which is permutation equals n factorial, where n is the number of objects, total number of objects, divided by a factorial b times b factorial times c factorial, and so on. So, depende kung gaano karami yung parehong objects or elements. Okay? So, we now proceed to module number 5, which is circular permutation. So, yung kanina, wait lang. Ay. Wait lang. I'll open a Jumper board. Opening it. So, looking back with our lessons last week, meron din tayong formula na na-formal. So, ano yung mga formula na meron tayo? Balikan natin yung mga formula. para hindi tayo malito. Okay? So, kapag permutation of n objects taken r at a time, n objects taken r at a time, ang formula na gagamitin natin is permutation of n taken r at a time is equal to, oy, pababa, n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Okay? Kunwari, there are 120 na candidates, then you'll choose 3 winners only. Ito yung formula na gagamitin. Kunwari, there are 10 students, they are in a contest. Sinong pipiliin mo as the champion, the first runner-up, the second runner-up. Ano pa? For example, there are 3 boxes. Then you have to choose the items that you have to put in the box. And many things like that. Kung saan yung arrangement po ay importante. And we say arrangement is important, meaning if you arrange these things using different items, and if you do this another arrangement using that item also, magkakaiba na sila na, magiging iba na yung arrangement nila. Like for example, sa code. Kunwari, ang ginagamit ko lang naman ng number para sa code ko ay 0 at saka 8. Magiging iba na yon kung nauna yung 0, pangalawa yung 8, pangatlo 8, pangatlo 0, ay pangapat 0. Magiging iba na yon if I start with 8, followed by 0, followed by 8, followed by 0. So things like that. Okay? Now, for number 2, we have another formula. Yung sa distinguishable permutation. Distinguishable permutation. So distinguishable permutation, we use the formula for permutation, which is n factorial divided by a factorial times b factorial times c factorial and so forth. Okay? So ito naman ginagamit natin if there are things that are or things that are the same objects. Like for example, pare-pareho silang blue, pare-pareho silang made of wood, pare-pareho silang, okay, naintindihan. So later, madadagdagan pa tong formula na alam ninyo because of the circular permutation. So for circular permutation, your goal here is for you to find the number of arrangement of objects in circular permutation. So let us have first the pretest, or let us just proceed to the lesson itself, because I know that most of you will not answer. Like earlier, hindi sumagot yung iba. Ay, karamihan ang lahat hindi sumasagot. Because they still don't know what distinguishable permutation is. Ganun din siguro pag circular. Kaya naman may hindi pa nagbabasa ng module. So for circular permutation, we are going to answer this question. In how many ways can 3 people, and we name these people as A, B, C, be seated around the circular table. Kaya nga siya circular permutation because the objects, the elements, are arranged in circle. Okay? So katulad nito, itong tao na to, we have person A, person B, and person C. They are going to sit in a round table. Most of you, katulad kanina sa Distinguishable, will say na, Ma'am, di ba, you will arrange them all. So that's permutation of 3, taken 3 at a time, which is equal to 3 factorial. And 3 factorial is equal to 6. And some would say na pag in-arrange namin yan, ma'am, ito po yung mga arrangements. Ano kaya yung mga arrangements sa tingin ninyo? Could you give me one of the arrangements? Bigyan niyo ako ng isa dun sa anim na arrangement na meron.
ABC.
ABC, ano pa?
ACB.
Ano po? Sige, pakitype sa ano, sa dito sa message natin para mabasa ko. Make use of the chat box. Na kanina we have ABC, ACB, oh, sabi nga CBA. Ano pa yung wala? Type ko na yung sinabi ni ano. CAB, yes. Ano pa? BAC. Kompleto na ba? O may mga nauulit na. Okay? So, yan yung mga arrangements na pwede natin makuha in forming or arranging this 3-person in a round table. So, let's look at the arrangements na pwede natin mabuo. And that is ABC, ACB, BAC, PCA, CAB, and CBA. Okay? Then, I am going to group this 6 arrangement into 2. Kasi, tingnan natin yung group nila. So, ito yung circular arrangement 1, and this is the circular arrangement. Kapag nilagay na natin siya sa table. In-arrange ko siya in a way na nakadepende yung pag-arrange natin kung clockwise ba or counterclockwise. Tulad nito, si ABC, si CAB, si BCA. Okay? So, yung arrangement na yon ay clockwise. The other one is counterclockwise, which is ABC, BCA, CAB. Okay? Or ito yung BAC, ito yung CBA, ito yung ACB. Okay? Pero as you can see, I group them into 2. So kaya kasi lagyan grupo sa dalawa, it's because I want you to look at this situation. Like for example, let us consider ourselves as a drone. Pare drone tayo, no? And we are looking at this person on top. Titingnan natin sila, ito si person A, ito si person B, ito si person C, nasa top tayo. Titingnan natin sila. Kunwari, so as you look at the illustration, si A ang nasa, kanan ba niya o kaliwa? Si B, nasaan niya? Nasa kanan ba niya o nasa kaliwa niya si B?
Kanan.
Nasaan si B? Ni A?
Right.
Right ba? O, ito si A, di ba, nakaharap siya sa table? Kanan ba to? Imagine that you are a drone. Ito yung tao. Nasa kanan ba siya o nasa kaliwa?
Bird's eye
Nasa
view.
kaliwa. So if you look at the arrangement in number 1, lahat sila clockwise. Okay? And as you can see, si letter A, ang nasa kanan niya po ay kaliwa. Ang nasa kaliwa niya po ay si B. While si B, ang nasa kaliwa niya ay si C. At ang nasa kaliwa naman ni C ay si A. O paano kung nagbago sila ng posisyon? Sabi ni A, parang ang lamig dito sa pwesto ko. Pwede ba ako dyan sa pwesto mo, B? Sabi gano'n. So tumayo silang lahat. Imagine niyo, they are now standing and they are changing their seats. Si B pumunta sa pwesto ni C, si C pumunta sa pwesto ni A, at si A pumunta sa pwesto ni B. So ito na sila ngayon. So nandun pa rin tayo sa top at tinitingnan natin sila. Now A is here. On his left or his or her left, nandun si B. Sa left naman ni B, nandun si C. At sa left ni C, nandun si A. Nagbago ba yung nasa kaliwa nila?
Yes.
Nagbago yung mga nasa kaliwa nila. Ulitin ko ha, dun sa una, si letter A, ang nasa kaliwa niya, si B. Ang nasa kaliwa ni B, si C. Dito, ganun din. Si A, ang nasa kaliwa niya, si B. Si B, ang nasa kaliwa niya, si C. Si C, ang nasa kaliwa niya ay si A. Nagbago ba sila?
Hindi po.
Hindi po. Hindi nagbago kung sino yung nasa kaliwa nila. Okay? Now, ganun din yung nasa kanan nila ha, pareho yun. Parehong hindi nagbago. O kunwari sabi ni C, naku, mukhang magkakasakit ako dito, ang lamig dito sa pwesto ni A kanina. Palit tayo dito, palit tayo A, sabi niya. Or kaya naman, move tayo. Gusto ko dyan sa pwesto mo. Eh sabi ni A, ay ayoko na bumalik dyan. Diyan na lang ako sa pwesto mo. So nagpalit-alit sila. They are now standing up and they are changing their seats. Ngayon, si B na yung nandun sa pwesto kung saan malamig. Gosh, matapon yung kape. Tapos, dun sa pwesto ni A kanina, nandun na si C. At dun sa pwesto ni C, ni B kanina, nandun na si A. Wait lang. Kasi napindot ng pusa. So, looking at the three arrangements, dun sa pangatlo, nagbago sila ng pwesto, pero kung sino yung nasa kanan nila, yun pa rin, or nasa kaliwa. Yung nasa kaliwa ni B ay si C pa rin, ang nasa kaliwa ni C ay si A pa rin, ang nasa kaliwa ni A ay si B pa rin. So, kung titignan nyo yung first arrangement, yung first circular arrangement dito, nagbago sila ng pwesto, yes. Pero dahil hindi nagbabago kung sino yung nasa kaliwa nila at kung sino yung nasa kanan nila, still the arrangement are the same. Imagine that you are in a drone, umikot sila, nagpalit sila ng pwesto nila, pero hindi nagbago yung nasa kanan at nasa kaliwa nila. Still, pareho pa rin yung arrangement. Kasi nga, bakit ganon? It's because they are arranged in a circular table. They are arranged in a circle. Okay? That's why, even if they change their seats, as long as yung taong nasa kanan at nasa kaliwa, hindi nagbago, wala ring pagbabago sa arrangement nila. Parang ganito lang yun eh. Ay, katabi pa rin naman kita eh. So, parang wala din namang pagbabago. Okay? How about in circular arrangement 2? Kung mapapansin nyo sa circular arrangement 2, nandito na yung nagkakagrupo ng isa. O yung tatlo na magkakasama. And titingnan natin counterclockwise arrangement nila. Wait lang. sumisilip eh. So if you look at the circular arrangement 2, looking at their counterclockwise orders, makikita nyo si letter A, ang nasa kanan na niya ngayon ay si B. At ang nasa kaliwa na niya ngayon ay si C. At kahit magbago-bago sila ng pwesto, as long as kung sino nasa kanan at kaliwa nila, hindi nagbabago, still the arrangement is the same. So looking at these two groups, kanina sabi natin, the permutation of or the arrangement, the possible number of arrangement of 3 persons arranged in a circular table is 6. Ngayon, makikita natin na hindi talaga 6 yung answer, but the answer now is 2. Dalawa lang. Kasi nga, if you look at the arrangements, pare-pareho lang naman tong tatlong to at itong tatlong to pare-pareho lang din. So, wala nagbago dun sa arrangement. Dalawa lang. So, paano ba natin isosolve yan? Dahil dalawa lang. Anong formula yung gagamitin natin?
N minus 1.
Po? That's? Ano po?
N minus 1 quotation.
Quotation ba? Dahil po, ang ginawa natin ay nag-arrange tayo ng persons in a circular table. Kung mapapansin nyo sa circle, there is no starting point. There is no end. Hindi tulad kapag nag-arrange ka sa line, kunwari, gusto ko mauna si Bobby, gusto ko pangalawa si Malu, gusto ko pangatlo si, di ba? I am choosing from right to left. Alam ko kung saan ako magsisimula, saan ako matatapos. Gusto ko dito ako magsimula sa dulo, mag-arrange ako and so on. We know where to start kapag linear arrangement. Okay? Yung mga ginagawa natin nung last week sa permutation, those are linear arrangement. We are arranging them in a line, in a row, in a shelf. Those are linear arrangements. Dito, these are circular arrangements. In a circular arrangement, wala kang simula, wala kang dulo. It's because circle has no start and circle has no end. Okay? Bilog lang siya. So that's why, sabi nga nung kaklase ninyo, n-1 ma'am. Then, quotation. Or baka naman hindi quotation ang sinasabi niya, but he is referring to exclamation point or factorial. Bakit n-1? Bakit n-1? Because we wanted to assign someone to be our starting point. Like for example, here, gusto ko si letter A yung starting point. So, para makuha natin yung arrangement, ang gagawin natin is to let A be the start of our arrangement. Okay? And if that is the case, ang gagawin natin sa kanya, alisin natin siya dun sa bilang ng taong i-arrange natin. Kung tatlo sila, dahil si A ang starting point, sa kanya tayo magsisimula, si A ang hindi magbabago ang pwesto. Dahil hindi magbabago yung pwesto niya, ang magbabago lang ang pwesto ay si B at si C, silang dalawa lang ang kukunin natin ng permutation. Gets? So, dahil si A, siya yung starting point natin, hindi siya magbabago ng pwesto, itong dalawa lang, permutation lang ng dalawang to ang kukunin natin. That's why you have to subtract A from 3, so that's 3 minus 1 equals 2, and we have 2 factorial. And 2 factorial is equal to 2. Kaya nga sabi natin, if we are arranging 3 people like this, A, B, C, in a round table, dalawang arrangement lang ang meron tayo. Itong circular arrangement 1 and circular arrangement 2. Okay? That's n-1 factorial. Let's try. Ayan. So we have n-1 factorial. Kaya lang, there are things that you need to remember. Ano pa ba yung mga bagay na pwede natin i-arrange in circle? Bukod sa tao, pwede natin i-arrange sa circular table. Ano pa? Mga pwede. Pwede natin i-arrange in circle. Pwede, di ba? Pwede dyan yung bracelet. Tama? You're arranging the beads in circles. Okay? Pwede rin naman yung key rings. Susi. Okay? If you are familiar with yung uh, way of arranging keys before, yung mga malalaking bilog na ano, yung parang sa kulungan, yung mostly makikita natin sa mga princesses, yung mga susi nila, di ba, nasa malaking bilog at naka-arrange doon. How about necklaces? They are also arranged in circles. At yung mga bracelets na yan, yung mga necklaces na yan, pwedeng meron silang lock, pwedeng walang lock. So aside from n-1 factorial, balik tayo dito sa ating formula. So pwedeng one, two, three. So aside from the formula that we have last week at yung kanina sa distinguishable, kapag circular permutation, we also have formula. Yung una ay yung permutation is equal to n-1 factorial. And this is usually used if you're arranging people in a round table or circular table. Okay? Kaya lang, hindi lang naman yun yung i-arrange natin, di ba? Depende sa situation kung ano yung ibibigay. Ano ba yung isa sa mga ways paano natin malalaman kung ito yung gagamitin natin na formula? Una, kasi you're arranging them in a round table. At the same time, kapag in-arrange mo siya in a round table, wow, round na round, di ba? Pag nag-arrange tayo in a round table, ito natin isulat yung round table na sinasabi. Pag in-arrange natin sila in a round table, madaling ma-identify kung yung pag-arrange natin ay clockwise or kaya naman counterclockwise. Ano ito yung kulay para mawala kayo. Pwede rin namang pa-counterclockwise. Okay? So meaning, if you're going to use this formula, remember na kapag ito yung formula na gagamitin ninyo, you are arranging items or elements in a circular table, and you can identify the clockwise and counterclockwise order. Tulad ng sa table, Alam mo kung ang arrangement mo ay clockwise or counterclockwise. Okay? Pero what if binigyan ka ng situation where you have to arrange things like bracelet, earrings, ano pa yung isa, necklace. Paano kapag ganun na? Diba? Eh ito, isa sa reason bakit sila nakahiwalay dito, yung formula nila, is because itong mga to po, you cannot identify the clockwise and counterclockwise arrangement or order of the elements. At dahil doon, dahil hindi mo ma-identify, try nga natin, if you have there your bracelet, try ninyo, drawing tayo ng bracelet. Eme-emeng drawing lang. For example, ito yung bracelet mo, may mga pearls yan dyan. Mukha lang ngipin, no? Pero pearls yan. Yan, ganyan tinuro sa ng teacher ko nung grade 1 ako, ganyan daw mag-drawing ng pearls. So if you look at this bracelet, imagine that you are holding it in your hand and you flip it. Pag na-flip mo siya, kapag flip mo siya, hindi mo na alam. You don't know already. Asan nga yung kaninang clockwise na in-identify ko? Asan nga yung kaninang counterclockwise? Bali-baliktarin mo, hindi mo na alam. You cannot identify asan yung clockwise niyan at yung counterclockwise. So, na I say clockwise, pa kanan. Pag counterclockwise, pa kaliwa. Okay? So, you cannot identify the clockwise and the counterclockwise arrangement of the elements. And if that is the case, you will not use this formula. You will use a formula, pero depende pa rin sa sitwasyon. Paano depende sa sitwasyon? Kunwari, yung bracelet mo, yung keyrings mo, or yung necklace mo has no lock. Or with lock. Magkaiba din yung formula ni gagamitin. Kapag no lock po, ibig sabihin, ito, may nagpapa-admit. Sino kayang magaling na bata ang ngayon lang pumasok? Ayan, si Igis-Gisa. Pasalamat ka, wala pang isang oras. Kapag po no lock, ang formula na gagamitin, kapag no lock po, ang formula na gagamitin ay permutation is equal to n minus 1 factorial divided by 2. Nanggaling siya dito. Okay? Bakit siya nanggaling doon? Kasi di ba pag nag-arrange tayo in a circle, ito yung formula natin. Kaya lang, dahil hindi natin alam yung counterclockwise at clockwise, ang mangyayari dyan, may mga arrangement na mauulit. Pag naulit yun, syempre, dapat i-consider natin yun as isa lang. Kaya nga tayo nag-divide sa 2 kasi pag binaliktad mo siya, pareho lang yung arrangement dun sa kapag binaliktad mo pa siya ulit. Dalawang beses mo siya pwedeng i-flip, diba? Ito yung face niya, facing up, and then if you flip it, it is now facing down, right? So, pareho lang yung arrangement nun. Kapag naman with lock, imagine that this bracelet has a lock. Yan, may lock siya, diba? So, kapag binuksan natin yung lock, ang magiging itsura niya ganito na lang. Drawing ko lang. mamangha kayo sa drawing ng teacher niyo. Yan. Yes, ito yung mga pearls na mukhang ngipin kanina. Ngayon, mukha ng
Fishball. Braces.
fishball. Yan. O, di ba? Mamangha. So, kung mapapansin nyo, if you open your bracelet, tawag dito, remove it from locking. Ang kulit ng English. Remove it from locking. So, kapag inayos nyo, pinantay nyo, inopen nyo yung lock. If you open the lock of your bracelet, ganito magiging itsura niya. At pag ganito na itsura niya, di ba, ano na to? Linear arrangement na yan. Pag linear arrangement na, meaning in a line, if you are arranging the elements in a line. So, ang formula nyo na dito ay permutation of n taken all at a time. Yung sa number 1 natin kanina, ito na yon. Pero dito kasi, laging take all. Kunwari, 20 pearls ang meron ako. 20 pearls. I have to take all of the pearls to arrange it here. Okay? Kailangan gamitin ko yan lahat. Kaya ang ginagawa natin dito, kunwari, 20, permutation of 20, taken 20 at a time now, which is actually equal to 20 factorial. Or simply, all you have to do is to substitute the value to n, which is n factorial. So kaya nga ang formula po natin dito is equal to n factorial. Kapag with lock na siya, ang magiging formula niya ay NPR na. At yung NPR na yan will lead you to n factorial. Okay? So aside from these two formula kanina, sa circular po, may iba-iba ding formula. Iba-ibang formula in a way na ito yung una. Ito yung una. Ito ay ginagamit kapag round table. You are arranging persons in a round table and so on. Pero may mga ano pa rin yun. Di ba? Remember, may mga conditions yung permutation natin. So, pwedeng condition niya, gusto nung dalawa, magkatabi sila, so on. Mamaya tuturo ko sa inyo kung paano yan. And kapag bracelet, keyrings, and necklace, kapag walang lock, you have to use this formula. Kapag no lock, di ba? Ang ganda ng ano ko. Ang ayos. Kapag walang lock. And another formula here, pangatlong formula is n factorial. Kapag naman merong lock. Remember that there are necklaces na may lock, meron namang wala, may bracelet na may lock, meron namang wala. So, those are the situations where you can apply this formula. Okay? So, aside from this, you still have two formula to use at ito ay nanggaling lang dito, ito ay nanggaling lang dito sa unang formula. So, all you have to do is to identify ano ba yung sitwasyon sa given problem para ma-identify mo agad alin dyan sa mga formula na yan yung gagamitin natin. So, let's proceed to the examples. Example number 1. In how many ways can 6 people be seated at a round table? So, anong formula gagamitin natin?
N minus 1 factorial.
Yung n minus 1 factorial. And that gives us 5 factorial is equal to 126. 120 ways. Next, number 2. Ayan na, sinasabi ko. There are 5 beads. And you have to arrange them in a bracelet. But as you can see, there are two situations. Yung unang bracelet has no lock and the other one has a lock. Okay. So for letter A, paano kapag walang lock? Anong formula gagamitin?
N minus 1 factorial.
Divided by?
2.
Divided by 2. Kasi nga, napi-flip to, nababaliktad. So, 5 minus 1 is 4 factorial. 4 factorial is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So, we have 12 ways in arranging the 5 different beads in a bracelet that has no lock. Okay? Or there are 12 arrangements. Ibig sabihin. How about in B? So, kapag may lock siya, ang mangyayari magiging linear arrangement na. So, that's why you have to substitute 5 to n, and that's 5 factorial. And it gives us 120 different ways for us to arrange 5 beats. Okay? O, paano naman to? In how many ways can 3 girls and 3 boys sit around a circular table? So, sa circular table, there are 3 boys and 3 girls. Kaya lang, they wanted to sit na alternate sila. So, kunin natin tong problem na to. Let us answer it. Bibigyan ko kayo ng iba't ibang sitwasyon kung saan pwedeng mag-apply ng o kung ano yung mga sitwasyon na pwedeng ibigay sa inyo. Dito. Ayan. So, di ba dito, you're going to arrange in a circular table. So, alam na agad natin. Ang formula po dyan ay n minus 1 factorial. Correct? But remember that if you arrange 3 girls and 3 boys, binigyan kayo ng condition. You're going to arrange them alternately. So, binigyan kayo ng direction where to put them or what is their kind of arrangement. Kailangan daw sila ay alternate. So, imagine that I am arranging this boys and girls around the table. So, unahin ko muna yung girls. I-arrange ko sila. Girls, tatlo sila. Okay? So, kanina ako nagsimula, I started dito. So, ang gagawin ko, siya yung magiging starting point ko. Okay? So, sa babae, nung in-arrange ko sila, nag-assign ako ng starting point. Oh, sa'yo ko magsisimula ha, ikaw muna. Ikaw muna dito, ikaw dito, ikaw dito, ikaw dito. Okay? So, if I am going to solve that, ay, hindi pala ako naka-share screen. Laptop. So, ito, we have here example number 3 in how many ways can 3 girls and 3 boys sit around the table so that the boys and the girls sit alternately. Di ba lang kayo nagsasabi, bugbugin ko na kayo. Joke lang. So, I have here a circular table. I started here, dito sa isang babae. Then, I arranged the other 2. So, di ba ang gagamitin natin formula dito is permutation of n minus 1 factorial. And we are given a direction that alternate dapat yung gagawin. Alternate yung babae at yung lalaki. So, kapag in-arrange ko yung girls, syempre mag-a-assign ako ng isa. O, ikaw starting point ko. Dahil in-assign ko siya, hindi siya magbabago ng pwesto. But instead, the other 2 girls will change the seats. Pwedeng magbago yung seats nila. Siya hindi kasi siya yung starting point ko. Sa kanya ako magsisimula. So, dahil siya yung starting point, ang gagawin ko is to solve for the permutation of girls. So, permutation ng girls ay 3 minus 1 factorial. And 3 minus 1 is 2. And we have 2 factorial. 2 factorial is 2. Meaning, yung arrangement ng dalawang to or yung arrangement na mabubuo natin dito ay dalawa lang. Pwedeng ganyan or pwedeng magkapalit tong dalawang babae. Okay, so dalawa na yan. How about sa boys? Ano naman sa boys? Alam ko na, may starting point na ako. Ito yung starting point ko. O, Iha, ikaw yung una, di ba? Ito sila yung other two girls. Dahil ikaw yung una, sa'yo ko itatabi yung isang lalaki. Sa pagitan naman nilang dalawa itong isa. At sa pagitan ninyong dalawa itong isa pa. In that case, I did not assign anyone sa tatlong to be the starting point. Dahil hindi ako nag-assign ng isa sa kanila to be the starting point, I am going to solve for their arrangement. Magkapalit-palit sila pwede. So that's 3 factorial. But ako hindi nag-minus 1 because I already did that to the girls. Nag-minus 1 na ako sa kanila as that person will be the starting point. At sa isang circular table, isa lang naman ang dapat maging starting point, hindi pwedeng dalawa. Okay? So, all I have to do is to substitute 3 to n. That's n factorial. So, 3 factorial is equal to 6. Meron akong dalawang arrangement dito sa babae, 6 sa lalaki, and all I have to do for me to get the answer is to multiply them. So that's 2 times 6, which is equal to 12. So there are 12 ways on how you can arrange the boys and the girls alternately in a round table. Saan siya nanggaling? Yung sa girls, dahil I assign this as the starting point. Yung arrangement nilang dalawa, yung sinolve ko. Sa boys, dahil wala nang starting point sa kanila, yung arrangement nilang tatlo, yung sinolve ko. Nagkakaintindihan po? So this is how you answer situations like this. Ay, paano kung kunwari, wait lang. Ano daw? Can sync your changes. Please copy the recent and ano daw? Ulitin natin. Please copy your recent edits, then revert your changes. Ano ibig sabihin? Please copy whatever. Yan. So, kunwari ang nangyari ay naging 6 yung girls. 6 na yung girls. At 6 din yung boys. Siyempre, alternate sila, di ba? So, kailangan pareho sila ng dami. So, tingin ninyo, how can we solve this? Kunwari, I'll start with boys. Then, mamaya na si girls. Dahil una mo... Sige, answer.
6 minus 1.
6 minus 1. That's permutation is equal to 6 minus 1 factorial equals 5 factorial. Dahil una kong i-arrange si boys, sa kanya ako magbabawas ng isa. So this will be 120. How about for girls? For girls, dahil wala akong i-assign sa kanila sa starting point, all I have to do is to get the arrangement of the girls, which is 6 factorial. And 6 factorial is 720. Now, for me to have the answer, all I have to do is to multiply 120 and 720. Now, what is the answer?
$86,400.
Ano po? Ano ulit?
86,400.
Kaya sa written work, hindi nyo na kailangan i-include to ha. Pero pag nagsosolve kayo sa notebook, syempre, kailangan. And pwede rin kahit wala na tong comma. Para pare-pareho tayo ng sagot. Para hindi mamali yung sagot yun. And dapat walang unnecessary spaces para tamaan ni Google Form ang inyong mga sagot. Baka kasi mamaya, sinulat mo 86, wala kang kama, pero bigla ka naman nag-space dito. Mamalian talaga yung sagot mo. Okay? Remember, si Google Form na nag-check ngayon, so you have to be careful with your answer. Now, what if another situation, so that, murahin natin yan, yung alternate. Murahin natin yan, yan. So that, tayo natin yung so that. If na lang, if. If the two girls wants to sit together. Remember sa condition, pwedeng may dalawa or higit pa na elements ang magsama or maghiwalay. So sa case na to, magsasama silang dalawa. So kung magsasama sila, magtatabi sila, they want to sit together, ano ang gagawin? So ang gagawin lang natin dyan is, of course, arrange muna natin 3 girls, di ba? Then 2 boys. Then the 2 girls must sit together. So in a round table, ilang na natin sila dahil tatlo yung girls, tatlo yung boys. Pag binilang natin sila all in all, di ba, 6? Right? 6 sila. 6 people, persons. We are going to arrange 6 persons in the table. But remember that there are 2 girls who wants to sit together. At dahil dyan, dahil they want to sit together, we will consider them as 1. Pag kinonsider natin sila as 1, hindi na 3 girls ang bilang natin. But instead, ang bilang na po natin ay 2 girls and 3 boys. Bakit 2 girls? Kasi yung isa dyan, dalawa na sila. Okay? Or, para mas maintindihan nyo, let us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kahit saan dyan, pwedeng pumesto ang kahit sino. Basta yung isa dyan, dalawa sila. The rest ay isa. Kasi we consider them as 1. Yes? At pwede sila magpalit-palit ng pwesto. So how can we solve that? All we have to do is to identify the arrangement as a whole. Dahil 5 sila, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We use permutation of, ano ba yan? Lagi kong nakakalimutan equal. Permutation is equal to n minus 1 factorial. Our n here is 5. We have 5 minus 1 factorial. That is equal to 4 factorial. What is 4 factorial? 4 factorial is equal to 24, correct. So, yung pagbabago sa arrangement nila, that's 24. Pero, as you can see, dahil dalawa sila, itong dalawa na to na gustong magtabi, let us give them name, kunwari si G1 at si G2, pwede pa silang magpalit, ano? May arrangement then between them. They have their own arrangement pa. And since they have their own arrangement, you have to consider that there are instances where they can change their seats. And if that is the case, we have to consider their arrangement. And their arrangement is equal to 1, 2, 2 factorial, which is equal to 2. Okay? So yung 2 factorial na yan, which is equal to 2, i-multiply natin yan dito for us to get the correct answer. Now, what is the correct answer? Permutation is equal to 4 factorial times 2 factorial, which is equal to 24 times 2. 24, yung arrangement nila as a whole, and yung 2, yung sarili nilang arrangement. Okay? So, ito as a whole, tas itong isa, own arrangement. Okay? And that is 40. Ay, ba't ako nagpeso sign? Gusto ko ata ng pera. So, permutation, ulit ayusin natin, so hindi makikita. Permutation now is equal to 48. That is because they wanted to sit together. Okay? Alinaw? Ano natin ito kasi? Yes. Sabi, paano naman yung mga ayaw magtabi? O, paano naman daw kung ayaw magtabi? Let us say na, yes, ano yung question nyo? Pwede naman pala yun eh. Bibili ba kayong taho? Asa na yun? Yung may nagtatanong. Nagtatanong ba?
48 ways po ba yun?
Opo, 48 ways.
Bakit po nabago na po yung formula po? Hindi po ba dapat ano pa din? Yung
Nakasan mo nga yung boses mo.
Ay, ano po? Hindi po ba dapat ano? Naging dalawa po yung babae po. Tapos bali mangyayari po may 2 minus 1. Ay,
Sinasabi mo magiging 2 minus 1.
Opo, yung bali madadagdag lang po sa formula. Yung
okay. So, explain ko sa'yo bakit hindi 2 minus 1 at bakit hindi madadagdag. Remember na they have their own arrangement. Kaya siya hindi 2 minus 1 kasi hindi ka naman mag-a-assign sa kanila na kung sino yung starting point. Dito lang, as a whole. Bakit ko siya minultiply? Kasi it will give different arrangement. Pwedeng lahat ng arrangement na to, ganito, pwedeng ang lahat ng arrangement na to, yung 24, nandito si G1, nandito si G2. Okay? Pwedeng lahat ng arrangement na yan, nandito si G1, nandito si G2. Paano naman kung nagkapalit sila? Nandito na si G2, dito rin si G1. That's a different story also. At 24 din yun. Kaya nga times 2. Kasi yung arrangement na pwedeng gawin nila as a whole, na si G1 ang nandito, ito si G2, 24 yun, pwede mangyari. And another story, kapag nagkapalit sila, there's another 24 arrangements. That's why we simply multiply it to 2. Which is
wala pong start.
2 factorial. Ha?
Wala pong starting point.
Walang starting point. Magkatabi lang kayo eh. Magsa-starting point ka pa.
Hindi, yung sa buo pong ano, sila pong
Ito yun, ito. Ito po oh. Yung as a whole. Ito po, yung as a whole. Lima na lang sila kasi kinonsider mo as one yung isa. Yung dalawa pala. Yung
opo,
dalawa.
opo,
Ito.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. So, ang count nila, isa na lang. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. O, kunwari, ito yung starting point mo. Dahil siya yung starting point mo, ilan nilang i-arrange mo? 1, 2, 3, 4. Apat na lang. That's 4 factorial, which is 24. At yung arrangement pa nila, pwede pa silang magbago. That's 2 factorial. Okay, malinaw? O, paano naman? Kung ang gusto nila, in how many ways can we arrange 3 girls and 3 boys sitting around a circular table if the 2 girls don't want to sit together? Paano naman natin i-arrange yung girls and boys if yung dalawa sa kanila don't want to be together? Siguro magkaaway to, no? Or may hindi sila pagkakaintindihan kaya they don't want to sit together. So para makuha natin yung ano na yon, yung number of ways on how we can arrange these girls and boys. Kung saan makukuha natin yung number of arrangement na hindi sila magkatabi. Siyempre, babalikan natin to. May magkatabi sila. Kung magkatabi sila, yung number of arrangement ay 48. Okay? Because they wanted to sit together. Paano naman kung hindi sila magkatabi? Kung hindi sila magkatabi, ang gagawin lang natin dyan is to solve the arrangement where they are together. Ibig sabihin, para makuha mo yung arrangement na hindi sila magkatabi, ibawas mo doon itong magkatabi sila. Subtract. Minus. Ima-minus natin yung arrangement kung saan magkatabi silang dalawa. Para makuha natin yung number of arrangement na hindi sila magkatabi. Gets? Gets po ba? Sagot po muna. Wait
Yes.
lang. Yes po. So kung, ganito lang yun simple lang. Kung gusto mong makuha yung bilang na hindi tayo magkatabi, bilangin mo kung ano muna yung arrangement natin na magkatabi tayo. Ibabawas mo yun. Magma-minus lang tayo. So wait lang kasi nag-ano na sila ng attendance. Luna, pabilang nga po muna ako kung ilan yung girls and boys, please. Paki-chat sa chat box. Asuyo daw po Ilang na po ba? Ulit yung Luna. Last lang. Kahit di naman talaga sila kumapas. 31 ngayon, di ba? Kaya natin reaction mo, di ba? Nabilang na. Boys, 10. Ilan yung girls? Girls, 15. Boys, 10. Girls, 15. Wait lang. Boys, 10. Anong date na yun? 2021. Girls, 15, di ba? Girls, 15. Dalawang boys. Isang girl. Twenty-eight. Wow, ang konti ah. Ano bang dadagdag? Haba na lang natin yung list ng ating survey ng Malvar, naka-52 sila. Ay, 11 pala yung boys daw. Wait, ulitin natin. Wait. Okay. So going back to our lesson, dahil wala tayo ditong i-consider as one, we count them as 3 girls and 3 boys. Anim. So we have 6 persons to arrange in a circular table. So we use permutation of n minus 1 factorial. So we have 6 minus 1 is 5 factorial. What is 5 factorial?
120.
112. Now, dahil ayaw nilang magtabi, solve natin ngayon yung katulad nito. Ibabawas natin yung number of the arrangement na magkatabi silang dalawa para makuha natin yung arrangement na hindi sila magkatabi. So, to do that, tayo dito ng pwesto para dun. Yung magkatabi sila is, remember that we consider them as 1. Yung dalawa as 1. So, instead of 6, we only have 5. So, that's 5 minus 1 factorial. So, 4 factorial, which is 24. And dahil magkatabi silang dalawa, meron silang sariling arrangement. And that's 2 factorial times 2 factorial times 2, which is 48. At yun yung nandito. Right? Ito yun. So, dito, 2 wants to sit together. Ito yung ibabawas natin para makuha natin yung arrangement na ayaw nilang magkatabi. Ito yung arrangement nila as a whole. Okay? So, yung arrangement nila as a whole, minus natin to. So, we'll get the arrangement that they are not together. Two girls don't want to be together. Or to sit together. And napipindot ko yung ano. And that is 120. 120 minus 48, which is equal to 72. So, ano yung formula natin dyan? We have permutation is equal to n minus 1 factorial minus ito. Okay, or simply, permutation ng 6 minus permutation ng dalawa who wants to sit together. And that is 6 minus 1 factorial minus 5 minus 1 factorial times 2 factorial. So this will be 120 and this is 48. Okay, so we have now the answer. Naintindihan po? So those are the situations that you may encounter regarding arrangements of people around the table. Pwedeng magkatabi sila, pwedeng they don't want to sit together, or kaya naman, pwede din naman alternate. So kapag alternate, ganito yung ginagawa. Okay? Pag gusto nilang magkatabi, ganito po yung gagawin ninyo. And if they don't want to sit together, ito po. Okay, itong nasa baba. May nakita ko lang yung solution dito. Okay, so let's go back to our presentation kanina. Nasagot na natin yan, no? So what you need to remember here is that whenever you encounter a problem pertaining to a circular permutation, whenever the clockwise order or the counterclockwise order can be identified or distinguished, ang gagamitin nyo is n-1. I-explain ko naman na yan sa inyo kanina, so you know about it already. Kapag hindi kayang i-identify yung counterclockwise and the clockwise, like for example, getting the permutations pertaining to the arrangement of beads in a bracelet, in a necklace, the arrangement of keys in a keyring. So, of course, you cannot identify the counterclockwise and the clockwise orders. Therefore, you have to use certain formulas like n-1 factorial, may factorial yan dyan, divided by 2 kapag walang lock. At meron namang, pag meron namang lock, you have to use n factorial. Naintindihan? So we'll proceed now to module number 6, and mabilis lang to. Let us proceed to the pretest. So of course, your goal here is for you to solve problems involving permutation. So iba-iba na to. Pwedeng permutation na taken R at a time, or pwedeng circular, pwedeng linear, or pwede din naman distinguishable permutation. So number 1, Malu owns 5 different blouses. If she cannot wear the same blouse on 2 consecutive days, how many different ways can she dress on Wednesday and Thursday? Wait lang, I'll stop sharing. I'll share my whole screen, my entire screen, para makita nyo yung Jamboard and at the same time yung problem. May mixing yata dito sa amin eh. Mixing ba? Ayun, nag-mixing. Ay, may pa-misting ko si Mayo. Aming butusin barangay officials. Okay. So, she owns 5 blouses. At mamimili siya ng blouse niya. And she cannot wear the same blouse for 2 consecutive days. Meaning, if she will wear a blouse sa Wednesday and Thursday, ilan yung dapat niyang piliin given the 5 blouses? Yan yung dapat niyang piliin. So, dahil pipili siya ng 2 lang for Wednesday and for Thursday, that's permutation of 5 taken 2 at a time, which is, so substitute natin siya sa formula ng permutation of n taken out at a time is equal to n factorial divided by n minus 1 or n minus 1. So that's 5 factorial divided by 5 minus 2 factorial. We'll get 5 factorial divided by 3 factorial. So this will be 5 times 4 times 3 factorial divided by 3 factorial is equal to 20. Okay? So the answer here is 20. Bakit 20? Kasi dalawang araw siya, or dalawang araw lang yung hinihingi sa atin. And how many different ways can we, or can she, wear 2 different blouses sa Wednesday and Thursday? Other methods of solving this is using a box method. Ano yung box method? When we say box method, you are going to look at the number of choices that she has for each day. Remember that she will use her blouse for Wednesday and Thursday. Ilan ba yung choices niya sa una? Sa unang araw, meron siyang 5 choices. At dahil hindi niya na pwedeng suotin yung nasuot na niya, the next day, 4 na lang yung choices niya. And if you get the product of this, nakikita mo, parang hindi eh. 5 dito, dito 4. If you get their product is 20. So, pwedeng box method or simply using the formula. Okay? Are you seeing my screen ba? Nandiyan pa kayo? Okay, mag-alala pa, tapos na to. Tapusin lang natin yung 1 to 5 problem. Diyan pa po kayo.
Yes po.
So, number 2. Bobby has 5 textbooks on her shelf. If math must always be in the middle, how many ways can he arrange the books? Ito, pwede rin siya by permutation formula or simply by using the, what do we call, the box method. So, pwedeng box method, pwedeng formula. So, I'll use the box method, but instead of box, medyo may tatamad na, no? Pwede namang line. Pero don't forget that it is a box method. Ilan yung box niya? 5. So kapag in-arrange yan in a shelf, ilan ba yung choices niya per
Five.
position? 5, di ba? Pero, ang sabi niya kasi dito, mat must always be in the middle. So dito sa gitna, dapat mat lang yung book na nandyan. So, isa yung mat book niya, then the rest, pwede na magpapalit-palit. Okay, so kung lima yung choices niya, yung mat nandito, ilan na lang?
4.
4. So that's 4, dito 3, and 2, and 1. So dito makikita nyo that we have 4, 3, 2, 1, or simply that's 4 factorial times 1, which is equal to 24. So pwede natin sabihin that we have 1 factorial, or simply, sabihin na natin it's 1. 1 times permutation of 4 taken 4 at a time. Pwede yun. Or kaya naman, we can also use the box method. Okay? Kasi pag nilagyan ko pa ng ganito, baka malito pa kayo eh. Di tulad pag box method, di ba, mas madali. Mas, sabi ng mga bata, mas naiintindihan daw nila. Mas naiintindihan namin pag naka-box method. So you can do that also. Students join in a contest in the school. The contest offers first, second, and third prizes. How many different combinations of first, to second, and third place winners can there be? So ito, solve natin siya. Remember na there are 20 students who join the contest. So you have to get 3 from this 20. 3 as the first, second, and third winners. So you have to get 3 winners. So our N is 20 and our R is 3. So permutation of 20 taken 3 at a time, that's 20 factorial divided by 20 minus 3. And 20 minus 3 is equal to 17. So that's 20 times 19 times 18 times 17 factorial divided by 17 factorial. What is 20 times 19 times 18?
6,840.
6,840. Tama ba rinig ko?
Yes po.
Yes po. Or kapag nag-box method tayo dito, tatlo yung winners, first, second, and third place, or winners. We have here 20 choices, 19 choices, 18 choices. Then get their product. So, pwedeng ganito, using the formula, or pwedeng box method. It is always your choice. Next, how many ways can seats for chosen for 12 couples on a Ferris wheel that has double seats? Double seat. Ferris wheel. So, kung Ferris wheel yan, let's say, ganito ang kanyang Ferris wheel. Tara, may kulay yung Ferris wheel. Kaya, kunwari ganyan, ano. So, dahil Ferris wheel yan, syempre may mga upuan yan. Yung upuan nila, double seat daw. So, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 double seats. Each couple will occupy each seats, double seats. So dahil it is arranged in a circular, and we know how to arrange, or we can easily identify the counterclockwise and the clockwise arrangement or order of the couples. we can use the formula for circular permutation. Yung una. Ano yung una? That's permutation of n minus 1 factorial. Kasi we will assign one of them as our starting point. Okay, so if we assign one of them as our starting point, we have to subtract that to the count of, or the number of couples. So we have 12 minus 1 factorial is 11 factorial. And what is 11 factorial? So aside from round table, we can also do or use the formula here given yung Ferris wheel situation. What is 11 factorial?
9,160,800. Ay,
Wala akong naiintindihan.
36,916,800.
968,800? Tama tong sinulat to?
Opo.
Opo. Okay. So that is the answer for
916 po pala.
916.
960,000.
Dapat 960. Sabihin natin itong 68. Kaya tatanong ko kayo kung tama ko ng rinig kasi ang hina ng boses niyo. Okay, so we now get the answer. Rose is planting 11 colored flowers in a line. In how many ways can she plant 4 red flowers? 5 yellow flowers and 2 purple flowers. So dahil pare-pareho yung flowers, nag-iba-iba lang ng kulay, same colors, of course, ang ibig sabihin niyan, we are pertaining to situations kung saan merong bagay na pare-pareho. Things are alike. Dapat magkatugtong yung ano. So, anong gagamitin nating formula dito? We will use the formula for distinguishable permutation, which is permutation equals n factorial divided by n a factorial times b factorial times c factorial and so forth. So, ilan ba lahat ng flowers? Ang flowers na meron tayo, lahat-lahat ay 11. And yung 4 dyan ay red, yung 5 ay yellow, at yung 2 ay purple. So, substitute natin, we have 11 factorial divided by 4 factorial times 5 factorial times 2 factorial. So, what will be my answer? Yeah. Use your calculator. You are allowed to use your calculator para di rin kayo mahirapan sa worksheet nyo at sa quiz. Saka dapat yung mga kaklase nyo, nung first grading sila bumawi sa grade nila eh. Tsaka second grading. Kasi tulad nito, you need calculator. Eh, paano kung wala kayong calculator? Pwede naman kayo mag-install ng app sa phone. Diba? Bagay kung gusto, may paraan. Pwede kayo mag-install ng app sa phone. Done? Anong sagot dito?
6,930.
6,800?
900.
900 ano?
30.
30? 30?
Hi.
Okay. Tingnan natin yung ibang problem na importante mo naman yun. Ito, alam niyo na yan. Kasi 15 minutes na tayong lampas sa oras. Ito, na-discuss ko na to yung mas sit together, di ba? Ayun, ano. Merong isa. Yung sa code. Yan.
Bonus.
Anong bonus? May bonus kayo sa akin. Dadagdagan ko yung quiz nyo ng 5 item. Bonus. Dadagdagan ko ng 5 kailangan masagot nyo. Okay, so let's form a problem. And ito nga, hindi ako marunong magsulat eh. Setback lang tayo. In how many ways can you form a 6-digit code using numbers 1 to 9 if, let's have it, A, ang bago tayo ng column. A, repetition is allowed. B, repetition is not allowed. And C, the first digit must be odd. Must be an odd number. Okay. Dali lang naman tayo solve. Solution for letter A. Repetition is allowed. Ang gagamitin natin dito is we will use the box method. Kung repetition is allowed, 6 digits, 1, 2, 3, or mas madali, ganito na lang. Yun lang, di ba? Straight. Oh, super straight. Then, yan, 6 lang. Now, we are going to use these numbers to form a 6-digit code. And repetition is allowed. When we say repetition is allowed, yung paggamit ng number ng paulit-ulit ay pwede. Okay? So kung gano'n ang mangyayari, we will use the box method. Sa unang pwesto, ilang numbers yung pwede kong pagpilian?
9.
9. Because there are 9 numbers here. Okay? Tamagin natin yung 9. Sa pangalawa,
8.
is it 8? Sabi, repetition is allowed.
9.
Yes, the answer is 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Or simply 9 raised to 6. Okay? Bakit? Kasi sa una, pangalawa, hanggang sa pang-anim na pwesto, pwede mong gamitin lahat ng numbers. And what is 9 raised to 6? What is 9 raised to 6?
531,441.
Ulit. Ngongo. Hindi ko naintindihan. Sorry. Ulit. 800, ano? Wala nang sumagot sa akin.
531,441.
O, di ba? Natandaan ko naman. Galit ka. 531,441 ways. Galit po ba you? Sorry naman. How about
G2.
letter B? Let's have the box method again. Ako, personally, mas nadadalan ako dito. Kasi i-imagine ko siya. If repetition is not allowed, so automatically for the first position, we have 9 choices. So ito yung sinasabi kanina na ito 9, ito 8, ito 7, ito 6, ito 5. Or simply, in permutation, we can represent this as permutation of 9 to 10, 6 at a time. So itong permutation of 9 to 10, 6 at a time will have 9 factorial divided by 9 minus 6 factorial. And that is 9 factorial divided by 3 factorial. So kung ganon, we'll have 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 factorial divided by 3 factorial. So kaya siya nagkaroon dito ng 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4, which is equal, it's just the same here. Okay, so what is the answer in letter B?
60,480.
Ganyan ba?
60,480.
Okay, 60,480 ways. Okay? Dito kasi kanina, we cannot solve it using permutation, but this one, pwede. How about letter C? If the first digit is an odd number. So ano po? Kung ang first digit daw ay odd number, ilan ba yung odd numbers natin dito from 1 to 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sige, gawin natin ganyan para makita ninyo alin dyan ang odd numbers. Baka kasi until now, hindi nyo pa alam. Ano ba yung mga odd numbers dyan?
13579.
Ay, alam naman pala. Magaling talaga. So, there are 5 odd numbers here. So, meaning, for the first position, since we are going to assign an odd number sa first position, we have 5 choices. So, kung 5 choices yan and we choose 1, how about the other positions? Ilan na lang po? Dito, hindi naman odd number. Dito, hindi rin. Dito, hindi rin. So, ilan na lang po yung choices natin for the second position up to the last position? Ilan po? Kunwari, mamili ako dyan ng isa. Ilan na lang po yung choices ko for the second position? So, lahat ng to. Slowly.
Four po.
4 ba? Kasi naisip nyo na dahil 5 dito, dito siguro 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. But no. Of course, ang kailangan lang naman natin na maging odd number ay yung first digit. First digit lang. So, the rest of the digits, pwede nang even. So kapag nagbawas ka dyan ng isa, dito sa siyam, 8 na lang dito, di ba? Same dito, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay? And this will give you what answer? What will be the answer here? Dahil 5 lang add natin, there are 5 choices for the first position. And if you get 1, 4 na lang, eh meron ka pang 4 na hindi naman add. So 4 plus 4 is 8. Then we have 7, 6, 5, 4. So what will be our answer here? We have 5 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 is
4,200.
33,600. Tama ba ang rinig ko? Tama po ba ang pagkakarinig ko?
Yes po.
Okay. So that would be all. Wait lang, balikan ko lang yung video kung meron pa. Kung wala, natapos na tayo. Kung may hindi pa ako na-discuss. Kung alam how to you solve it using the formula, you may use the box method para hindi kayo mahirapan. Okay. So, wala. So, that would be all. Thank you. Thank you.
Bonus.
Bigyan ko kayong bonus? Bigyan ko kayong bonus?
Wag po sa quiz.
Ha? Ito, sa inyo na to.
Perfect na.
Bonus. Yan na yung bonus nyo. Binigay ko na ha.
Perfect na sa worksheet 2.
Ha?
Perfect na sa worksheet 2.
Perfect na sa worksheet 2 kung perfect yung worksheet 1.
E di
Pati yung
perfect
worksheet 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect sa lahat. Okay, so I'll stop recording na. Then I'll post this video